Coffee and Convo, y'all. Let's get it. Salute, man. Shout out to everybody here in the building. Welcome to the latest installment of Coffee and Convo. I am your host, Graphk Raider, man. Salute to everybody, man. I see Primos, Joe Nation. Come on, man. Hooligan Nation in the building. Bobby H, #1. What's good, man? Make sure everybody wipes them feet, meaning hit them thumbs up. Also, hit that subscribe button if you are not subscribed yet, man. Salute to Raider Ryan, man. Let me know down in the comment section, you guys, where are you watching the show from right now? What city, what state, you at home, you at work? Please let me know down in the comment section where you are watching right now, man. Just want to say, man, thank you guys so much for always supporting what we do over here at OLV Network. We are on our way to 21K right now. We can't do that without you guys, so make sure you hit that subscribe button. You already know what time it is. Yeah, man. Look, NBA season. My Kings got a big dub last night. I had to put my Kings gear on today, man. You know what I mean? We went out there and put a whooping on them Utah Jazz last night. I think it was like 130 to 114 or something. We cooked those boys. So, you know, I got to rep my squad. Got to rep my home team. You already know what time it is, man. Salute to R. Gonzalez. Watching Coffee and Convo. Drinking out of my Coffee and Convo mug. Cheers, brother. Salute to R. Gonzalez, my dog, man. Yes, sir. A lot to talk about today, you guys. There's a lot of trade rumors out there right now. One specifically, an edge rusher that you know, we've been told, you know, from numerous different reports that we're out there looking for edge rusher help right now. There's one name that popped up yesterday. Interesting. Not don't hate it. Actually kind of love it. We're going to talk about that here soon. We're going to talk about the report that came out yesterday, you guys, about Hunter Renfrow and Josh McDaniels' relationship being fractured. One word I have to describe that is duh. I mean, what are we doing here? I mean, the guy is not getting really, truly any reps. He's not really getting any, you know, I mean, come on, man. I mean, is that really a report at this time? Let's just keep it a buck, man. Salute. You know what I mean? Who put it out there yesterday? Let me go over here real quick. I think it was Jordan Schultz over at Bleach Report. Yes, Jordan Schultz over at Bleach Report put it out yesterday that the Raiders and Hunter Renfrow's relationship is fractured. And what I mean by Raiders, I mean Josh McDaniels. I don't mean the entire organization, his teammates, anything like that. Josh McDaniels and Hunter Renfrow's relationship is fractured. I mean, that's clear. That's clear. And at this point, you guys, the sad thing is we'll probably move on from him. We'll probably find a team that we can, you know, that'll take on that contract by next week, by October 31st, the trade deadline. But, you know, we're probably going to have to tie a pick to it, a late round pick. Probably going to have to take a few dollars off of his contract. We're probably going to have to pay some of it just to unload that contract. Could you imagine making Hunter Renfrow a very rich man and then just not playing him and just completely killing his trade value? Makes no damn sense in the world, man. So salute to Jordan Schultz, but I have to put this out there, you guys. Duh. I mean, you can see it, right? I mean, we don't have to read a report or hear anybody else. It's clearly fractured. And I said this when I was doing the Bears and Raiders game the other day when Hunter Renfrow and Josh Jacobs walked out of the tunnel. They both looked absolutely defeated before they even got on the field. It's clear. It's time to move Hunter Renfrow because at this point, Mark is not moving Josh McDaniels yet. He's still here. We're 3-4, still early on in the season. There's still time to clean this up, even though I'm going to be real with you. I think, we've seen what Josh McDaniels can do, and this is what the team is going to look like moving forward with Josh McDaniels as the head coach. But it's clear, you guys. It's time to move on from Hunter Renfrow, put him in a spot where he can actually go out there and play. The Minnesota Vikings would be an interesting team. The New York Jets, with Carl Lawson and maybe potentially Randall Cobb, maybe reuniting him with Devontae Adams. That'd be interesting. I mean, I'm not saying that we need Randall Cobb. We already have a slew of slot guys, but it'd be interesting to bring in Randall Cobb and Carl Lawson for maybe Hunter Renfrow. That'd be cool. Maybe ease the blow a little bit with Devontae Adams, right? I mean, hey, bringing a guy that he loves, that he played with in Green Bay for years, maybe. But there's a few interesting teams that he can move on to. We're gonna have to see what we can do, because at this point we've killed his trade value, and we're probably gonna have to take on a little bit of that contract and maybe even attach a late round pick to it, because we've absolutely just destroyed any trade value that Hunter Renfrow has had to this point. Let me see, man. Salute to everybody here in the building. Let me see. Yeah, and the Jukester, I can definitely see that. The problem is Buffalo has no money. Last I checked, they were really, really thin with funds. So I don't know if Buffalo has what it takes to bring in that contract. You know what I mean? Now, if we worked with them and paid a little bit of that contract off, and maybe we could. But could you imagine what Hunter Renfrow would look out there with Josh Allen, Gabe Davis, and Diggs? Oh my God, man. That would be scary hours out there in Buffalo, man. Let me see. Salute the Black Raider WP. What do you think about Louis Riddick as the GM? I do not want it to happen at all. No shade to Louis Riddick. Love what he does. Once a Raider, always a Raider. Big fan of him and his analysis of the game. But he has no history of being a general manager in the NFL. And I personally don't want anything to do with anyone that has no track record of being a general manager. I just want to get away, WP, of the Raiders hiring their own and bringing them in and hoping that go out there and get someone that is proven at the general manager spot if you move on, from our guy, of course. You know what I'm saying? But if you move on from Ziegler, you got to go get a proven guy, a guy that has a track record. I'm not doing the whole Louis Riddick thing. Love the guy, former Raider, but I do not want to continue to do this thing where we just continue to bring in former Raider guys because they're former Raider guys. You know what I'm saying? I understand, that Mark loves the alumni, and I love him for that. He takes care of his former players, shows them a lot of support, gives them a lot of love in different aspects of life. You know what I'm saying? But I'm going to be real with you. No. And Jesus, that is an interesting name to look at the end of the season. Ken Dorsey, offensive coordinator up there in Buffalo. Definitely a name to keep an eye on because he will probably find a head coaching position next season because, he's doing good things up there in Buffalo. Let me see. And Brian DeBall, Josh Allen has looked totally different. You know what I'm saying? With Brian DeBall out there in New York. I'm not going to act as though Josh Allen has looked like the same version of himself, but that offense is still clicking. Buffalo still has, things are still firing on all cylinders out there. And I think that Ken Dorsey would definitely be a good catch in the offseason as someone's head coach. I don't know about ours, but definitely would be a good one somewhere. But I'm still looking at Ben Johnson. I'm looking at Ben Johnson. And I think a lot of you guys are finally going to get an opportunity to see what Ben Johnson brings to the table in regards to offensive play calling. You're going to see him Monday night. You're going to see how that Detroit Lions offense flows. You're going to see it firsthand. Ben Johnson is my first option as the head coach if we move on from Josh McDaniels next season. And he's going to get a nice chunk of change, Ben Johnson, that is, moving forward. Let me see. Brave says, who would be a good defensive coordinator with Ken Dorsey? I mean, there's a lot of names out there. And you know what, Brave? We'll do a show at some point where we break down all the head coaching options and all. To me, it's like I want to talk about it, but for what? Like Mark Davis is shown that he's not going to move on from Josh McDaniels yet, you guys. It's just clear. I think he's really given him 3 years to figure it out. And we're in year 2, a year and a half in right now. And I don't think that Mark Davis is going to just throw him away You know what I mean? He still has to pay him. I think he had a 4-year deal, $40 million. You know what I mean? I think Mark Davis is getting tired of paying multiple coaches at the same time. He can afford it, definitely can now. But I'm just saying, I don't know if he wants to continue to do that same thing. I think personally, and it hurts to say this, I think Josh McDaniels will get one more year. I do. We're 3-4 right now, you guys. We're not 0-7. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, it's scary hours, but I do believe that he will get another year. Me personally, I'm moving on after this season. Clear cut. It's time to go on and go somewhere else because this shit is not working at all. But I think personally, Mark gives him one more year. Salute to Joe. What's up, Graphk? No expectations from here on out. Only sort of enjoyment I'll have for the rest of the season is if O'Connell starts from here on out. Yeah, Joe. And, you know, there is rumblings right now. Salute to Primos. He actually sent me an article last night. And I'm going to bring this up real quick. Salute to everybody here in the building, man. Make sure you guys all wipe them feet. Hit them thumbs up. If you're not subscribed to the channel yet, make sure you hit that subscribe button. There was a report that came out yesterday from Dan Graziano of ESPN. In a recent article by Dan Graziano of ESPN, he revealed that rookie quarterback Aidan O'Connell will get the start ahead of Hoyer if Garoppolo is unable to practice this week. Las Vegas's first official practice of the week won't be until Thursday, which is today. So there's extra time this week with the Monday night game. But if Garoppolo can't go this week, expect to see rookie Aidan O'Connell in his place instead of veteran Brian Hoyer, who struggled against a vulnerable Bears defense in week 7 and was replaced by O'Connell late in the game. And I believe there's about 5 minutes left in that game against the Chicago Bears when they decided to put the kid out there. So, yeah, I do believe, Joe, we will see Aidan O'Connell if Jimmy G is not ready to go. Not, you know, we shall see with that back injury. We'll figure out today. We're going to do another live tonight, Joe. We'll break down the injury report and all that good stuff. But we are returning to practice today with that extra day off because of the Monday night game. We will see where Jimmy G is in his, you know, development coming back from that back injury. But, you know, all signs were that he was ready to go. So I don't know yet. We shall see. We'll get more, you know, a more honest assessment today and tomorrow of where Jimmy G is health-wise. Salute to my dog, Max. As always, potential sleeper coaching candidate, Brian Johnson, OC from Philly, has worked wonders with Jalen Hurts. Okay, salute to Max. Salute to Max. I like that. I like that. We're going to, like I said, we're going to do a show here soon breaking down all of the options moving forward at the head coaching position if Josh McDaniels is not the guy. Salute to Raider Ryan. Graphk, what do you think? Who do you think they are grooming Brady to eventually be that person for Mark Davis to be a shot caller so he can just be that owner that shows up to events, but not making call experience to make? Let me say this, Raider Ryan. All I think is this, brother. I think that personally, all they're doing right now is trying to get Tom Brady attached to the organization for money purposes. Okay. Tom Brady is a cash cow. He's the greatest quarterback of all time. Some say he's the greatest football player of all time. 7 rings. He's done it all. At the end of the day, Mark is trying to find a way to get him tied to the team, you know, a small ownership stake to have him be tied to the Raiders because that makes that value skyrocket. You know what I'm saying? Tom Brady owns a portion of the Aces. They got back-to-back championships. You know, I see that their merch and stuff is flying off the shelves locally in the Las Vegas area. Tom Brady is a cash cow. You know what I mean? I don't think that he's there to make any decisions. I don't think that they're trying to bring him in to be a guy that they can lean on decision-wise. I think that all they're trying to do is use his smile, have him do some walkthroughs, and they will sell a shit ton of shit because of his ties to the Raiders. That's it. I don't think they're going to use him as a football mind or anything. Now, don't get me wrong. Let's just say Aidan is the guy, or we go out there and draft a rookie quarterback next year. Clearly, I mean, you know, if they want to have a conversation with Tom Brady, he's there for it. And, you know, that can happen. But I just think that it's just a money grab. It's a money thing. Get him tied to this organization, and it makes more sense to, you know what I mean, to generate income. Let me see. Salute to Raider X, my dog. Let me see. Salute to Pale Moon. Graphk. I never thought about I've never thought great about Josh McDaniels as a head coach. I never thought it would work out, but I tried to be positive for Wasted You and Raider Nation. And this is a Cowboys fan, you guys. Salute to you, bro. And look, all we're doing is just trying to be positive about the guy that got the job. You know what I mean? We've all said this a million times. My first pick was Jim Harbaugh. Okay. My second pick is a guy that went down to Jacksonville that won a championship with the Philadelphia Eagles, that lost his job and, was at home for a year or two. Okay. And he's working wonders with Trevor Lawrence down there in that offense. Okay. Those were my first 1A, 1B type guys. When I found out that this guy was actually an option, I kind of realized that I knew what Mark Davis was trying to do. He was trying to recreate, the New England Patriots. Once I heard Ziegler's name, I heard Josh McDaniels' name, I instantly thought, oh, okay, he's trying to replicate what New England did, not realizing that you don't have a Tom Brady to replicate anything that they did, or a Bill Belichick. But my first two options, were Harbaugh and Doug Peterson, 1A, 1B. Those were my two guys. And, I wanted Dodds actually as our GM. You know what I mean? But it is what it is. You have to run with what you have. We don't all have to be ecstatic, in about who we hire. You know what I'm saying? Like, let's just keep it a buck. Like, we've made a lot of poor hires in the past. A lot. The Lane Kiffins of the world, the Dennis Allens of the world. We brought back Art Shell. You know what I mean? Like, we've done a lot. We made a lot of bad hires at the head coach position. So, I mean, these let's just keep it a buck, you guys. Like, as Raider fans, we're kind of used to just hiring bad head coaches. We brought back, Gruden for a second stint, and it was kind of like a nostalgia thing, right? It was like, oh, okay, cool. We're bringing a guy back in that helped kind of bring us back in a sense, the Tuck rule and all the other stuff. Then he went on to beat us in the Super Bowl with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. We all know the story, but that was a nostalgia hire. It was like, let's help usher in the fan base from Oakland to Las Vegas. So we were all excited to see Gruden back because we knew what Gruden did for us in the past. Look, at the end of the day, man, if we move on from Josh McDaniels, I want to move on and do something innovative. I want someone young that can come in and a proven guy, someone that, like with Ben Johnson, he's proven to take that Detroit Lions offense to the next level. He's worked wonders with Jared Goff. And I love what he's doing out there in Detroit. That is a guy that I'm looking at. Then there's some younger minds at the collegiate level that we'll talk about, at a later date. But moving forward, man, I just don't want to keep doing these retreads. I don't want to keep bringing in these guys, that haven't worked out at all. Josh McDaniels, Denver Broncos. Josh McDaniels now, Las Vegas Raiders. So, moving forward, man, I just want a young mind, someone younger or someone fresh that has more of a grasp of the game today and not the past. Let me see. Salute to everybody here in the building, man. Appreciate you guys for rocking. Let me share this screen real quick. We're going to talk about something. I don't know if you guys seen this yesterday. Cole Kmet. I'm a fan of Cole, former Notre Dame Fighting Irish tight end. He went on a podcast yesterday or the day before and spoke about the Raiders, okay? And I want to share this. This low-key went viral yesterday. Boom. All right, let's talk about it. Let me get Pale Moon's comment off. All right. Salute to AZ Sports. The Las Vegas Raiders came out and laid an egg against the Chicago Bears when they should have beaten them. They should have beaten them badly too, but instead they were the ones getting beaten badly. It wasn't very good to say the least, and it was very embarrassing to say the least. The Bears were one of the worst teams in football, if not the worst, and they were without several starters, including their starting quarterback. Instead, McDaniels was outcoached by Matt Eberflus. I don't even know how to say his last name, but he's a terrible coach. And Brian Hoyer was outplayed by an undrafted rookie Division II quarterback. Last season, they lost to the Arizona Cardinals after having a 20-0 halftime lead. I know I was at that game. They lost to the New Orleans Saints in shutout fashion where we couldn't even cross midfield. They blew a pretty nice lead to the Jacksonville Jaguars. They lost to a Baker Mayfield and Los Angeles Rams team after he was with the team for 2 full days. And then they lost to the Indianapolis Colts, who were head coached by Jeff Saturday with no prior coaching experience, besides the fact he was coaching high school football just a week prior. The Raiders looked lost, as it truly was one of the more weird games we had seen. However, now one of the players that beat the Raiders is revealing why that happened. Cole Kmet, I thought they were a little jet lagged. I'm not going to lie. Bears tight end Cole Kmet said on a podcast, I'm serious. The team we saw on tape was not the team that we played. They were gassed. Kmet also went on to say that the Bears' run game is what made the Raiders' defense gassed. They would get a first down on the first down play by way of run, and it would just have the defense gassed. So they're kind of rewording it. What he said was pretty much they'd get a first down on first down, and then on second down, they would gash us for a chunk play on the ground for like 6 yards, and the defense was just completely gassed. That's what Cole Kmet was saying. Cole Kmet isn't wrong. It could be very well be the same issue with the offense. They were gassed or had jet lag. Let's just hope they come much more prepared for the Detroit Lions game so they won't get embarrassed on national TV. So there you have it. Cole Kmet went on a podcast yesterday talking about this was not the team that they prepared for. Just looked completely and utterly different from what they game planned for. Even Max Crosby, all the players on the defensive side of the ball, they just look completely just still asleep. I don't know when we landed. I assumed we got out there early. I thought we got out there Thursday, Friday. I could be wrong. But usually when you go on one of those Midwest swings, you try to get out there a little earlier. You got 2 back-to-back road games, Chicago, Detroit. You get out there a few days early, try and get, prepared for, the time change. And then you go into that second game of your Midwest swing already prepared and ready to go. I don't know. I believe we went out there a few days early. This doesn't make any sense to me. Okay. Like I truly do not get this. Like we went to Chicago and yes, we traveled. Yeah. It gets a little tiring. I understand that. This is not going out to New York where you're facing the Jets or the Giants. This is not flying out to Buffalo where you're facing the Buffalo Bills. This is not flying all the way up to Boston to face the likes of the New England Patriots. You're going to the Midwest where this team should have been ready to go. And yeah, Jamal, we got out there on Friday. There should have been a few days where we should have been prepared and ready to go. I don't know if this is clearly just a team that was gassed and just tired, or a team that is just defeated and just tired of this coaching staff and the way they go about coaching these guys. You know what I'm saying? I said this on Twitter yesterday. I don't know who was wrong and who was right in their reports. And look, we're going to have Mitch on here in the next few days. Salute to him. He just reached out to me and said he wanted to do a show. We're going to talk about, the stuff that, the reports that he got from players, being sick and tired of playing under him. And then Hondo, Hondo with the conflicting report of he showed a text message, and I'll actually read this in one of his podcasts. Sports Illustrator insider Hondo Carpenter talked about the dynamic within the Raiders locker room on Tuesday and shared a text he received from a player on the team. F that, the player said on the idea of firing McDaniels. I think everybody is frustrated. We share that frustration, but I can't think of one of us that really wants to see the coach fired in the middle of the season. Just give up on the year? Who does that? Who quits? That doesn't make any sense to me. Frustrated? Yes, you better believe it. Wonder about some stuff? Of course. Want a guy fired? Lost our locker room? Give me a fucking break. Okay? I'm going to say this. There's conflicting reports about what these players feel right now and how they're feeling about their coaching staff. Monday night is going to be a very, very, very big thing to see. Okay? The team that goes out there to play these Detroit Lions in prime time, in front of the world, nationally televised, playing this Detroit team that absolutely got destroyed on the road against the Baltimore Ravens. They're coming out for blood. And, they've been pretty good at home this year. Their quarterback has been playing really well at home this year. We're going to see how these guys actually feel moving forward. We're going to see how these guys feel about this coaching staff. If they go out there and play their asses off against the Detroit Lions, I feel like they're not only playing for themselves, but they're playing for the coaching staff. If they go out there and look like the same team that's played against the Chicago Bears, that played against the New England Patriots, that played against these inferior teams that we got a few wins back to back, it's going to be very telling. I'm going to kick back and see what team shows up this Monday night. If we go out there prepared and ready to go and see what, and we play this Detroit Lions team, and I'm not even saying we go out there and win, you guys. We go out there and fight. We go out there and fight. It's a closer game than most assume it's going to be. Then maybe these guys are out there fighting for this coaching staff. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to go and say who's right, who's wrong, whether it's Hondo or whether it's Mitch. There's no names tied to any of these quotes, Hondo or Mitch. So I don't know what is what, who is who, blah, blah, blah. Okay? I don't know. In a nutshell, Hondo can be talking to a Josh McDaniels guy, right? He could be talking to a Josh McDaniels guy. Brandon Bolden, Hoyer, one of these guys that come from New England, Jacoby Myers. He could be talking to one of them saying, fire him. What? That's the guy that brought these guys in. Mitch could have been talking to Marcus Peters, a guy that clearly wants Josh McDaniels the hell out of here. A Josh Jacobs that sat around waiting for a contract all off season and didn't get it till the season was here. All I'm saying is this. I don't know what is what's real, what's not. I'm just holding out hope that Monday night this team comes out and they fight. They fight for each other. They fight for the coaching staff. I want to see what team shows up Monday night, and then I'll kind of gauge where I am with this whole, are the players sick of this shit, and blah, blah, blah. I'm going to kind of reserve my judgment for Monday night. I want to see what team comes out, who shows up, who performs, simple and plain. D-Raider said that sounded like Max that texted Hondo. Yeah, it sounded like a leader. It sounded like a leader, and it sounded like a guy that also has been through this same type of shit. Gruden moved on after the Chicago Bears game, 2021. For we all know the reason why, right? He's been there. He's seen a guy or two get canned good. You know what I'm saying? He's seen us move on. From Rich Bisaccia last year, and he's now in Green Bay. As a special teams coach. All I'm saying is this. I'm waiting until Monday night to see what is what and who is who. And I'm just not going to jump the gun right here and say who is right, who is wrong, what is this, what is that. I'm waiting to see what team shows up Monday night. Yep, we will know how they play on the field. There you go, Cap. Salute to my dog. Philip, bro, I do. I believe it. I believe it. And we're going to stop this screen right here. We're going to share this. Salute to everybody once again in the building, man. Make sure you guys wipe them feet, hit them thumbs up. If you're not subscribed to the channel yet, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Once again, right here, okay? Yesterday, a report came out, you guys, that the Washington Commanders received a trade offer for Montez Sweat. At this point, there has been no offers for Chase Young. They are both free agents going into next season. So the Commanders are probably going to move on from at least one of them and potentially pay the other. I know Chase Young is finally coming back from, all those injuries that he's dealt with. When healthy, this guy is one of the most dynamic defensive ends in the league. I think he has 5 sacks already this season. He is balling. I think Montez Sweat has 5.5 as well. But we're going to read some of this article here. The NFL trade deadline is next Tuesday at 4 p.m. The Halloween cutoff date has everyone speculating about who will be on the move and which teams will be buyers and who's trying to sell off assets. The Washington Commanders have several players on the last year of their contract that could potentially be free agents next March. Their starting defensive ends, Montez Sweat and Chase Young, are big names on that list, and there have been reports about interest from other teams as the deadline approaches. So I'm not going to read this whole thing, but I will say this. Chase Young is finally healthy after suffering a complicated ACL injury during his second season. He missed most of last year, returning for the final 3 games. Young got injured during the preseason this year and missed the first game. My dog, man. Missed the first game. Hold on. Got injured during the preseason this year and missed the first game with a neck injury. Since then, he's been healthy and playing a lot of snaps for the defense. Young has 5 sacks in 5 games and is on pace for double-digit sacks for the first time in his career. The former NFL Defensive Rookie of the Year is expected to get a lot of teams sniffing around to see what compensation Washington could take for the 24-year-old defensive end. Here was the report, you guys. One team has made a trade offer to the Commanders for defensive end Montez Sweat, but none has so far has offered for Chase Young, per source, unclear of the terms of the offer for Sweat. I'm just going to say this. I would not be shocked at all if this was us. This was the Raiders making that call. I love the idea of bringing in Montez Sweat, allowing Tyree Wilson, some time to develop. We're seeing it week in and week out. He's getting better. He's progressing, but he's not ready yet. And I would love this. You have your bookend defensive end and Montez Sweat on the other side of Max Crosby. This would work wonders. I love Chase Young. I'm very, very afraid of making a trade for Chase Young. He's been injured, the torn ACL. It's very scary to pay these young guys. Waste is calling my phone right now. It's very scary to trade for a guy and part ways with draft capital for a guy that's injured and has been injured a lot in his career, in his short career at that. I think that Montez Sweat would be more of the safe option. I think that it would be very, very smart to make that call and engage what they would want. I think it would probably take maybe a third round pick for the likes of Montez Sweat, because they're going to have to move on from one of these guys either way. This would be phenomenal. Do I think that it was us that made the call? I do. There's been reports that we were the ones that actually made the call, but there's other teams in the NFL that can use another defensive end. The Jacksonville Jaguars are apparently looking for some defensive end help. The 49ers, they've been collapsing as of late. But they're potentially looking for another defensive end. I know they went out there and got Randy Gregory from the Denver Broncos, but it still sounds as though they're looking, for that other guy to help that defensive line. So there is other teams out there looking for defensive end help at this point. But I do think that we were the one team that made this call. Now, do I think it happens? I think it's a very, very slim chance that Montez Sweat ends up a Raider because of Zeke and him loving his draft capital and not wanting to part ways with, a mid-round pick, like a third-round pick for a guy that will be a free agent next offseason anyway. But if we do not go out and get Montez Sweat, I do believe another team that is fighting for a Super Bowl, fighting for a playoff spot at the least, will be sniffing around. Hence the Jaguars, hence the San Francisco 49ers. And there's a few other teams out there that may be potentially looking for some pass rush help as well. But I would love this. I would love it. Either one, Montez Sweat or Chase Young. But I just think that with Chase, the injuries is a scary thing. I think that the Commanders would rather keep Chase Young because of the potential. If he's healthy, he can be one of those top 5 pass rushers in the NFL. And I think that they would want to keep him around, give him a deal, and keep him around with those defensive tackles that they paid. The Daron Paynes, the Jonathan Allens of the world. I think that they want to keep one of those guys, and I think that it would be Chase Young. Let me see. What bothers me is that everyone is saying that the Lions are going to kill us because they got embarrassed. But no one is saying that the Raiders got embarrassed and wants to kill the Lions. Well, JC, this is the thing, that our team hasn't shown enough. Like we haven't shown enough. We have not come out 1 week and looked like killers. Not once. So why, JC, would anybody give us the luxury of making us look like killers? We're not. We haven't had that mentality all year long. Against Denver, we didn't look like killers. Against Buffalo, we got killed. Pittsburgh, we did not look like killers at all. The Chargers didn't look like killers. The Patriots, we can just keep going. We can keep going. We have not looked like killers at all this season. You know what I mean? So, okay. So you're saying, okay, I got what you're saying then, JC. I get it. Because I'm saying, look, I'm not giving this team any extra credit that they don't deserve. You know what I mean? The Lions, they've been proven this year, okay? They went out and got absolutely annihilated by the Baltimore Ravens. They're coming home pissed off, mad, frustrated. They're going to come out with a chip on their shoulder. Are the Raiders going to come out and say, we were embarrassed by Chicago? We're not going to allow this to happen again against a better team in the Detroit Lions. I'm going to be honest, you guys. The Detroit Lions are a beatable team. They're beatable. They just got cooked by the Ravens. They looked against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, even though they beat them 20-6. That offense wasn't really flowing like it usually had. They've shown chinks in their armor as well. The Detroit Lions is a very beatable team. Now, are we the team to beat them? I don't think so. We haven't shown enough. Do I think that we can go out there and get a win? Yes, any given Sunday. We've seen this happen year in and year out with other teams. I just don't see it happening. We're on the road against a very, very mad, very, very well-coached team. Dan Campbell out there, Ben Johnson, these guys they're going to have their guys ready and prepared to go. With all the outside noise with this team, the Josh McDaniels, talk amongst the nation, amongst the media, in the national media, everywhere. I just don't think that our team is going to come out as prepared as the Detroit Lions at all. I just don't. I don't think so. Let me see. I hope that defense shows back up, though. Oh, LT, anything can happen, Oos. Definitely can. But I'm just saying, I'm done leading with optimism with this team. Do I think we can win? Yes. Do I think we're going to win? No. We're playing a high-powered offense and a sneaky defense. Like, we went out there and played the Chargers, looked like shit. We looked like shit against the Patriots. We look like shit against the Denver Broncos. You know what I mean? Like why would we all of a sudden week 8 look great against one of the better teams in the NFL? I just don't see it. Salute to Lewis. Send the 4th for Leonard Williams now. I would do that in a heartbeat. If you could find a team that can move on, that would take on that Hunter Renfrow contract, maybe the Jets, I don't know. I would like to go get Leonard Williams and some pass rush help. If you can't get Leonard Williams, I'm good with going out and get a Montez Sweat. But if you can get a Leonard Williams, I wouldn't stop there. I would go reach out to the Jets and see what it would take for Carl Lawson, a guy that has been a healthy scratch and has not been getting a lot of looks on that defensive line. I would go get a Leonard Williams for a 4th potentially and still go see what they would want for Carl Lawson. So you can get that outside help with the inside help. I don't think you're going to get a Leonard Williams and a Montez Sweat. So I think it's either or. You go get a Montez Sweat, or you say, you know what, I'm going to go get that interior presence on that D-line like a big cat Leonard Williams, and then go still reach out for the likes of Carl Lawson. But we shall see. We got one more week, you guys. It is October 26th. We have 5 days until the trade deadline comes up. I think that, this Detroit game is going to be very telling. I think they're going to see where we are in terms of that. And let me see something real quick. I want to see something real fast. That game is October 30th. So we literally have that day to figure out what are we going to do before the deadline. Literally, we're playing the game the day before the deadline is here. So I think we're going to get through Monday. We'll probably hear our name in a lot of different trade talks leading up to that. But I think you're going to start hearing things really, really, really speed up come Sunday, Monday. Salute to Callan. I think O'Connell needs to start this game. Say what you want about his flaws. He is fearless and resilient. He also puts a wrinkle in defensive game plans because there's only one game on tape of him. I'm with you, brother. I'm with you. I want to start him the rest of the season. But the thing is, you know who our head coach is. You know who the guy that he went and got in the offseason is, Jimmy G. And when healthy, he will be the guy. Now, if he's not ready to go because of that back injury, I'm hoping and praying, actually, that Jimmy G's not ready to go this week. I want to see what the kid looks like. I do. I want to see what he looks like against a talented team like the Detroit Lions. I want to see that fearlessness and that resiliency from him against a better team in the Detroit Lions. So, yeah, bro, I'm with you. I want O'Connell out there Monday night against this team. Salute to my dog, man. Callan on a $10 donation. Let me see. I missed a super as well. Salute to my dog, Mando. At what point do we bench Peters? No effort. This the thing, Mando. Jacorian Bennett has been hurt. Nate Hobbs has been hurt. You know, I know we went out and got Sam Webb back. He's on the practice squad. Maybe we can activate him. You know, we signed Tyler Hall to the 53-man roster. I know he was beat up a little bit these past few games. He didn't really play at all in this game against the Chicago Bears. But we've been beat up at the corner position. And you can't really bench Peters at this point because there's no one else out there to really put out there. Jacorian is the other guy on the perimeter. He's hurt. You know what I mean? Brandon Faison, a guy that we signed in the offseason, hoping that he could be a guy that can help us on the perimeter. He's been out. We're very, very thin at the corner position. And because of that, I don't think there's going to be a reasoning for them to bench Peters. Yes, his effort has been terrible. And I see that they asked about that at the presser, and Patrick Graham was like, you know, he played the politic game. He basically said, I'm not going to single out one player. You know, I'm going to talk about our team as a team because it's a team. But I know Graham is sick of the shit that he's seen from Marcus Peters these past few weeks. I know it. But the problem is we're so thin at the corner position. If you bench Peters, then we're probably more, you know, we'll probably be worse at the corner position than with him. That's the scary shit. Salute to my dog, Black Sales, in the building. Everyone is pointing the finger at Josh McDaniels. I'm looking at Ziegler. We should be super active in getting some young players to boost the defense. Facts. Facts, Black Sales. But the thing is this. This is the thing that sucks, bro. We have a young team. We have young talent. I seen somebody post something on Twitter the other day. We need to move on. You know, we got to do some things in the offseason because we're like the third or fourth oldest team in the league. You know why we're the third or fourth oldest team in the league, you guys? Because we have Brian Hoyer on the team. Because we have Brandon Bolden on the team. Because we have the likes of John Jenkins on the team. That's why we are one of the oldest teams in the NFL. We have a lot of young talent. This is the problem. Z went out there and got a bunch of young guys. Why are we not seeing Chris Smith out there more? Why are we not seeing Amari Burney active at least 1 week? Bring him up. Divine Diablo has been dealing with an injury. Bring Amari Burney up this week. Let's see what the young kid has. At least put him in special teams and get him some reps. Where is Nesta Jade? We have a bunch of young guys that should be out there getting reps. And they may not be starters. I understand that. I'm talking about some depth pieces. Yeah, you can definitely, but the thing is, Black Sales, most of the time you're not going to find too much young talent at the trade deadline that you're not going to have to extend. You know, Montez Sweat, still young. You're going to have to extend him. If you part ways with some draft capital to go get him, you're going to have to extend him. So you're dipping into your funds next offseason, which I'm cool with. Chase Young, he's going to need to get, you know, an extension. A lot of these young talents, you're going to have to pay him big money moving forward. You know what I'm saying? We already drafted a bunch of young guys. Let's see what these guys can do. I want to see Nesta Jade out there in action. I want to see Amari Burney out there in action. You know what I'm saying? I want to see Chris Smith out there in action. You know what I mean? But I hear you, brother. I hear you, man. Zeke definitely has to do a better job of building this team. Definitely. And we'll see what he has in him these next few days leading up to the trade deadline. Salute to my dog, Black Sales. Let me see. Salute to Marvin Lewis, my boy. $5 donation. I don't understand what the F they're waiting for. Let's get these trades done and get these guys on the field. And to be real with you, brother, I agree. But you have to understand it takes two to tango. Okay. Marvin, if we reach out to the Commanders right now and say we have a third-round pick for Montez Sweat, take it or leave it. The Commanders may say we're going to sit back right now and wait these next few days and see if one of these better teams, you know, get desperate because injuries occur year in and year out. What if one of these major edge rushers get hurt Sunday? You know what I mean? The Niners or the Philadelphia Eagles or one of these winning teams, the Buffalo Bills, may give up more than what we initially would give. So it takes two to tango, Marvin. It's not just us saying, here's this. The Commanders may say, okay, I like that. Let's just see let's just gauge and see what else is out there. It takes two teams to tango, my brother. But I hear you. I hear you. There's no reason to wait. We're 3-4. There's still a lot of football to be played. We can still go out there and win a few more games. But you know, at the end of the day, man, I'm gonna be real. We're probably gonna build the defense through, you know, if we do go through the trade deadline and make some trades. What are we doing offensively? This offense is just, it's not going. It's not going. Like And I don't see it getting any better unless you play Aidan O'Connell and you just give the kid all the chances in the world to take that spot. I don't see this offense getting better. Jimmy G looks bad. Brian Hoyer looks worse. I don't know. If you make some of these trades for the defense, yeah, you may be building for the future, but this season, the offense can't get going. It's just bad. And I don't see anything changing. I don't. Unless you play the kid. Unless you play the kid. It may get worse with the kid, or it may get better. But I know one thing, it's not going to get better with Jimmy G or Brian Hoyer. Let me see. Salute to Richard. I just don't want to give Renfrow up and get a guy on an expiring contract. And I hear you. I hear you, brother. But at this point, you know, it's a two-way street now. Both parties want to move on. Hunter Renfrow wants to move on. You know, unless, you know, Mark Davis goes up to Josh McDaniels and says, look, that's my guy. Hunter Renfrow's my guy. He's not going anywhere. Find a way to get him involved in this offense, period. Do your job. Find a way to get him involved in the offense. I don't know, man. I don't know, man. You know, me personally, I know if we're going to get a new coaching staff moving forward, I wouldn't want to move on for Hunter Renfrow. Even if that's saying we're just going to play him like we've been playing him all year long so far. Even if he doesn't get any reps moving forward, if I know that Josh McDaniels is going to be canned at the end of the season, I'd want to keep Hunter Renfrow because he's still one of the better slot receivers in the NFL. You know what I mean? And I know that this team went out and got DeAndre Carter, a guy that plays in the slot, went and drafted Trey Tucker with that Darren Waller pick. You know what I mean? A guy that plays in the slot, could play special teams and all that. So we've drafted his replacement already. You know what I mean? So I don't know moving forward, even the next coaching staff, if we do move on from Josh McDaniels, if they're going to utilize Hunter Renfrow because they may like Trey Tucker or other guys more. Or let's say this, you guys, moving forward, what if the next coaching staff comes in and says, I want another big time receiver on the outside? You got Jacoby Myers there, a guy that played predominantly in the slot in New England. You could just move him inside and go get another guy on the perimeter in the trade market or even in draft. So, you know, I don't know what the hell this team is trying to do right now. I truly don't. I don't. I just know we have a lot of talent right now. You know what I mean? And they're not utilizing them at all. You got Hunter Renfrow, you got Trey Tucker, you got DeAndre Carter, you know, Jacoby Myers, Devontae Adams, Josh Jacobs. There's so much firepower on this offensive side of the ball, and they just can't figure out how to utilize them. It's truly shocking to me how bad this offense is with all those names on the offensive side of the ball. Davis says Jimmy G's practicing today. Will start if there's no setbacks. Yep. Definitely something to keep an eye on right there. Salute to Colin again, man. My family, man. A lot of the nation wants Harbaugh, but I'm sorry. I don't want any old school coach. The NFL is evolving at a rapid rate. We need a young, innovative coach that keeps the opposing teams guessing. And that's the exact same thing I said the other day, Colin, on the show that I did with Wasted and Hammer. Salute to my brothers. Initially, I wanted Harbaugh, but then that offense would low-key look like John Gruden's offense. I agree with you. I want a more innovative approach. I want to see, you know, more pre-snap motion. I want to see I want to see the Detroit Lions offense. I want to see the Kansas City Chiefs offense. I want to see the Miami Dolphins offense. I want to see the Philadelphia Eagles offense. There is a reason, the Buffalo Bills offense. There is a reason why all these teams are the top teams in the NFL. It's because their offenses are different. They're innovative. They do different things. There's so much motion. There's so much this, there's so much that. Our offense right now is ancient history. And to be real with you, with Harbaugh, it probably looked the exact same. You know, it looked more Gruden-esque. Factory, my brother. Salute to you on a $10 donation. Salute to Primos. Hey, Graphk question. Who has the final say with the injury report in regards to the defense? Josh McDaniels or Patrick Graham? Because someone told me PG has the final say. I don't know who told you Graham has the final say. I'm going to tell you this. Josh McDaniels does. This is his team. This is his team. Period. I mean, Graham may have some say in it, but if McDaniel says, no, I want to start I want to start Adam Butler over Nesta Jade, what is Graham going to say? Graham's going to say, all right, well, put Adam Butler out there. You know what I'm saying? Like, at the end of the day, it's still Josh McDaniels' team. He is the one with all the power outside of Zeke. So, you know, I have to disagree with whoever told you that. I don't think that Graham has the final say on the defensive side of the ball, period. I think in terms of play calling, yes, that's his team. But in terms of the roster as a whole and who's going to play out there initially before the game, I think that's all Josh McDaniels. Yeah, and Raymond, this is facts, bro. We just ain't that good. Just not that good at all. Salute to everybody here in the building, man. Make sure you guys wipe them feet, man. Hit them thumbs up. If you are not subscribed to the channel yet, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Go to OakLosVegas.com today, you guys. I just uploaded some new merch. Go over there and check it out, OakLosVegas.com. PlanetRaiders.com. Also, man, go get your issue. Got some new articles that will be on the website here soon. So stay tuned and shout out to everybody, man, that's rocking with me on this coffee and convo this morning. Let me see. Salute to everybody here. Yeah, that's crazy. Crazy, man. Crazy. We talked about the reports, you guys, that came out yesterday. According to Dan Graziano of the ESPN, he revealed that Aidan O'Connell would get the start over Hoyer if Garoppolo is unable to practice this week. It looks as though Jimmy G will be at practice today. They're going to gauge where he is in terms of that back injury. So as of right now, Jimmy G is going to get the start against the Detroit Lions unless there's a setback. If so, Aidan O'Connell will be the one to get the nod over Brian Hoyer. We also talked about Bears tight end Cole Kmet talking about how this defense looked totally gassed, that we did not look like the team that they game planned for at all. He said, I'm serious. The team that we saw on tape was not the team we played. They were completely gassed. I thought they were a little jet lagged. I'm not going to lie. That's crazy coming from the tight end of the Chicago Bears. This team was not prepared, not ready to go at all. They were still asleep at the wheel against the Chicago Bears. We talked about the new report that came out about a team that made an offer to the Commanders for defensive end Montez Sweat, but none so far have been offered for DE Chase Young per source. Unclear of the terms or the offer for Sweat. There's a lot of rumors surrounding the Raiders in terms of were we the ones that made the call. I'm seeing a lot of different takes on us being the ones that made the call. I guarantee you we will be in on this, even if we weren't the ones that made this specific call. Guarantee we are definitely sniffing around the Commanders team to see what they would want in terms of defensive end Chase Young or Montez Sweat. We talked about Hunter Renfrow. You know, there was a report that came out yesterday from Jordan Schultz about both sides are motivated to get a trade done before the deadline, Hunter Renfrow and the Raiders. He reported that it would be a healthy separation, but the relationship between Josh McDaniels and Hunter Renfrow is fractured. I think this is clear. I think we all know this. It's kind of easy. It's just you can see the body language of Hunter Renfrow. You can see the game plan from Josh McDaniels. This is clear. You know what I'm saying? Salute to Raider Travis, man, my dog. But yeah, that's kind of what's going on right now in Raider Nation, man. Salute to Verbal. Don't think anyone mentioned it. Maybe McDaniels is trying to tank. I think McDaniels is restricting play calls purposely. No, not at all. Verbal. This is not a tank. This is a guy that is just can't coach. Simple and plain. Last year, I kind of chalked it up to maybe it potentially being a tank job, you know, with Derek Carr out there, you know, and him not running, you know, not being good at the system that Josh McDaniels wanted to run, blah. Certain players didn't fit what he was trying to do. They would need a full draft in order to really get this system of his going. No more tank jobs for me. This is just a poorly coached team. Josh McDaniels does not have these guys ready on a weekly basis. At this point, I'm fed up, and I'm not even going to allow him or anyone else to use the whole tank job shit. Josh McDaniels is not a good head coach. Simple and plain. R. Gonzalez, yes. Go to the Raiders Instagram page. Go to the video that they posted right before the Chicago Bears and Raiders game. They were coming out of the tunnel. They just looked like there was no energy there at all. Go check it out. It's on their Instagram and on their Twitter. Yep, Chili. And I don't really agree with a lot with Brandon Marshall. And I can go as far as to say I don't really like the personality that Brandon Marshall has. Not a huge fan of him. I feel like he throws a lot of people under the bus. I think that he does shock value shit. I'm not really a huge fan of Brandon Marshall, but I can definitely agree with him in the sense of when he said that he's not a leader of men, period. Bottom line, I have to agree. That's one thing that I will agree with the former wide receiver, Brandon Marshall, and I'm not a fan of him at all. Let me see. As bad as DC was last year, he did better than any of the quarterbacks Josh brought in. I mean, technically, I mean, shit, we put up more points. But just this is more than just a DC thing. Number one, this is a collective issue. The offensive line has gotten worse than last year. Okay, the thing that DC had was he had the best running back in the business last year, Josh Jacobs. When DC struggled, get the run game going. Josh Jacobs, you can lean on the run game. I feel bad, for Jimmy Garoppolo. I do. And mind you, I'm not saying that he's a great quarterback at all. Shit, I'm probably not even saying he's a good quarterback. But it's very, very difficult to be a quarterback in this system when you can't get the run game going. The run game is non-existent, you guys. What do you expect Jimmy G to do? He doesn't have the strongest arm. He can't spread the field. There's a lot of things he can't do to get this offense going. And I feel bad for any of these guys. Hoyer, too. You know what I'm saying? Hoyer's a terrible quarterback. But what can you do when you don't have the run game going? When you don't have the run game going, there's only certain quarterbacks that can really make shit happen without that. Patrick Mahomes, Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, a guy that can use his own legs and create plays. We have no run game. The offensive line has gotten worse. Just as a collective, this offense has just took a major step back. You know what I'm saying? So I feel bad for all these guys. I feel bad for Aidan O'Connell if he goes out there and we still have no ground game. That's just going to set him back. Here's what it is. I don't think a lot of people are talking too much about that. We got to get back to what's going on with this offensive line. What is going on with Josh Jacobs? Period. They are making Jimmy G and Hoyer and Aidan O'Connell worse too. That O-line needs to get going. Josh Jacobs needs to get going. Salute the verbal. Hypothetical. If you were tanking, how would you do it? You know what, bro? Verbal. If you're going to tank, you know how you do it? Just put Brian Hoyer out there. Have him be the quarterback moving forward. Hoyer's the quarterback for the rest of the season. If you want to tank, that's how you do it. Hoyer is your quarterback moving forward. I guarantee you win 3 games this season. And those are the 3 games that we already won. If you want to tank, Brian Hoyer is your guy. That's it. No Jimmy G, no Aidan O'Connell. Brian Hoyer is your guy. Simple. Salute the verbal. Oh, yeah, Henny, I can't wait, man. Can't wait tomorrow night. We got the Warriors, man. We got to run that back, man. We're still feeling those blues from that 7-game series last year, King. Let me see. Yeah, man. This is what happens. This is what happens when you're not out there, nose ring, y'all, no booger, nose ring, no booger. When you don't get any reps, in training camp, when you just sign pretty much right before the season starts. You know what I'm saying? There's a difference, and we said this all off season. There was a difference between being in shape and being in football shape. And Josh Jacobs was in shape. He wasn't in football shape, and it's showing. Oakland fan, I got to say this, okay? Colton Miller's been one of our bright spots out there on that O-line. If all the guys on that O-line have gotten worse, you're definitely going to regress. You got to have your guard help to make you look better. You got to have your center help you look better. You know what I mean? Like Andre James, Parham, all these other guys definitely have taken a step back this season. You know what I'm saying? Real talk. But, I mean, do you expect Colton Miller to look like an all-pro left tackle if there's no help amongst the rest of the O-line? If Parham took a step back this year, Colton Miller is going to look worse. This is what it is. The O-line is a collective. You got to have all those guys fighting for each other on that O-line for all those guys to look good. I still think that Colton Miller was a bright spot on that O-line. He looks less effective because all the other guys around him. Let me see. Yeah, facts. But I'm gonna be honest with you, and this is why I really want to speak to Mitch, because one of those quotes that he put out there was that the Chicago Bears defense was calling our offensive plays. I don't believe that. I don't believe that. I don't. Because you know how big that would be right now in the national media if the defense was actually calling out our plays. Do you know how many of those Chicago Bears defenders would have came out and said it was a cakewalk? We were literally calling out their plays. That's why I don't believe that quote. And I'm not saying that it wasn't made. I'm not saying that the player didn't tell him that. I'm just saying, me personally, that would have came out from other sources. The Chicago Bears would have clearly said, like, Cole Kmet came out and said they look gassed. You don't think that one of those guys would have said, bro, we were calling out their plays. That's how simple this offense was. You know what I'm saying? Like, and yeah, it has looked terrible. It has looked terrible. Slants, hitches, screens. Yeah, like, but this is why I can't wait to talk to my brother Mitch about this, because I want to ask his opinion on that. Like, why wouldn't it have came out national? That would have been national news. Let me see. No, we have in the past. 85. We have. I don't think that we've heard that with this regime. I'm gonna be real. I don't recall anyone calling out our plays since Josh McDaniels has been the coach, and it hasn't been that long. It's only been a season and 7 games. But there's been talks about when Gruden was the head coach and other guys, former head coaches, the guys were. But it came out and it went viral. That shit was out there. Steven says you got to watch TDL. Marcus showed that the Bears knew exactly what we were doing and basically called out our plays. Well, look, I'm just saying, I would assume that I would have heard more from the Chicago Bears side of things. And like I said, you guys, I'm not calling my bro a liar. I'm not calling a player a liar. I'm just saying I would assume that would have came out just like Cole Kmet. They look gassed. I thought it would have been all over the place. John says it's not actual plays. It's most likely just run plays versus pass plays. Like I said, I'm doing this from my couch. I ain't getting paid a meal to do it as a job. I mean, look, and you guys know we're Raider fans. We can call it the plays. We know exactly what the hell they're going to do before they do it because we watch every single down of this team. You know what I'm saying? But, you know, those guys can get in their bag and study that offense, the Chicago Bears I'm talking about, and say, okay, this is what they do and this is what they don't do and blah, blah, blah. Maybe they were. I'm just saying, I would have thought that would have been even bigger because I don't know, man. It is what it is. And Graham, I'm with that. Teams call out plays every game. Film study is effective. I think Mitch's story is exaggerated. And that could be it. That could be it. And like I said, no shade to my dog. You know what I'm saying? I'm just, you know, and you're right though, Graham. This is facts, bro. Facts. Let me see. I don't think it's that bad. I don't think it's that bad. Right on that. I don't think it's going to be a 40-10 type game. I think our defense is going to be back out there doing their thing. I do think that the defense is going to be ready to go. I think the offense is still going to click out there in Detroit. You know what I'm saying? Don't get me wrong. You know, Gibbs is a baller. You know, they got a lot of guys out there. And we're going to do a complete breakdown of that game and that matchup. But I don't think that it's going to be that big of a deficit. I don't. I'm not going to say a 40-10. I think this game is going to be a lot closer than most have, you know, think. And I'm going to bring this up real quick too, you guys, real fast. Let me see. Go to Twitter. All right. Let me see where it is. Boom. Talk about this real quick, you guys. This is how the national media is calling this game. GPG got it 27-20, Detroit. Close game. Wolf 24-17, close game, Detroit. Adam Rank 23-14, Detroit Lions. Grant has it 34-13, Detroit Lions. Sessler only has a scoring 10 points, 20-10. A former Raider finally going against the Raiders. 24-13. Gordon 34-14, Detroit. Shook 27-14, Detroit. Edholm 30-17, Detroit. And Patra 27-20. I'm gonna say this, you guys. All these L's right here, I feel like we have a chance. Every time I see this type of shit with the game preview picks and everybody's going against this, it's like we find a way to even play it close or win the game. I'm gonna be real with you. If somebody had two Raiders in here, let's just say there was two Raiders, I'm like, we're losing this game. I got hopes because of all these L's on this screen. I have hopes. I think it's gonna be a lot closer than a lot of people assume. Richard, he got one last week. And almost got two. Piff, bro, yep, always against us. And rightfully so. As they should be. Okay, my brother Trav, okay. 27-24 Raiders. We haven't scored 27 points all year long. But, hey, man, Trav, I hope you're right, King. Yes, I did see that. I did see him on his presser, Josh, talking about the defense and and him. I talked about it, for a second here about the question that was asked about Marcus Peters and his tackling ability and blah, blah, blah. And Graham pretty much saying it's a team effort. It's not just one player. I'm not here to call out one player and blah, blah, blah. I do respect the way Patrick Graham goes about coaching. I do. I like it. I like it a lot. I've seen Josh McDaniels throw subliminals out there where he kind of threw certain guys under the bus and, didn't really take full accountability for the way he called a game. I've seen it week in and week out with Josh McDaniels. You do want to see your head coach call it like Patrick Graham. Take responsibility. Say, I have to find a way to get my offense going. I have to be the one to be better at play calling. My offense is not doing what it's supposed to be doing. Not one time has Josh McDaniels went up there and took full ownership. That's the issue I have. All those that shit needs to be, I'm fucking up. I'm fucking up. My offense is not running we're not getting it done. I need to be a better play caller. I need to figure out a way to unlock my players on the offensive side of the ball. It is me. That's what we're missing from Josh McDaniels. He is such an egomaniac that he will not take full accountability for these L's. You can't get the offense looks like shit. Josh McDaniels, it's okay to go up there and say, I look like shit. What's wrong with that? What is wrong with that? I've seen great coaches in the past come out and clearly state, I need to do a better job at my job. Graham is doing his thing with the defense. He's getting them prepared and ready to go. Antonio Pierce has our linebackers ready to go. Rob Ryan is doing his thing as a senior assistant. You know what I'm saying? Me and Carmen Brasillo need to do a better job. Lombardi needs to help me do a better job. We need to do a better job offensively. You just don't see him do it, man. You just don't see him do it. Let me see. Salute to my dog, John. Sup, bro? Jimmy returning to practice. I had hope until I heard that. Always having coffee and convo on my work calls. Damn it. Salute to my dog, man. Yeah, man. It looks as though, and let me go find this tweet real quick, you guys. I'm going to bring this down off the screen real fast. You guys make sure you wipe them feet, hit them thumbs up. If you're not subscribed to the channel yet, make sure you hit that subscribe button. I think we're about 2 or 3 subscribers away from where are we at right now? Almost at 20,800. We need 8 subscribers, man. 8 subscribers. Hit that subscribe button. I'm looking for All right, hold on. Where's Jimmy G at? Let me just type in Jimmy G and see what's up. Here we go. Boom. There you have it. There it is. Salute the Demon Time. Appreciate you, King. Ian Rappaport, Jimmy G is in line to return Monday. Back, returns to Raiders practice team. Hopeful he'll play Monday against the Lions. So unless there is any major, anything changes with that back injury, it looks as though Jimmy G will be the guy to go out there to face the Detroit Lions primetime Monday night. And to be real with you, LV, I wouldn't be shocked. Don't think for once Aidan Hutchinson and that Detroit Lions defensive line isn't going to attack Jimmy G and try to get him the hell out that game. They know that his back is hurting. They're going to absolutely pinpoint that back and try to take this guy out. It is what it is. It's the NFL. Salute, Skylar. I appreciate you. Aidan Hutchinson about to ride Jimmy right into the ambulance. Man. It looks as though, you guys, he will be the guy to play quarterback for us Monday night football. Yeah, Calvin. And I just, who's going to stop him? Who's going to stop him? Do you do more of those jumbo packages where maybe you put Illuminor back at right tackle and you have Mumford out there kind of lined up at tight end and you have both those guys blocking on the outside? Is that going to be the way you stop Aidan Hutchinson? Because I don't know if you really can stop that kid. That guy has a motor on him. That guy is a dog. He is one of the premier pass rushers in the NFL. What is the best way to stop that kid? Maybe you do have to do more of those jumbo packages and line up Loom and Mumford on the right side together. I don't know. But I'm going to tell you right now that O-line has struggled. And Aidan Hutchinson's probably going to have a big day. He's salivating for Monday night. I'll tell you that right now. Josh, from what I'm hearing, Aidan O'Connell is second in line. So they may have Brian Hoyer as the emergency quarterback going into Monday night. Well, at least that's what's, the talk is right now, is that Aidan O'Connell should be the guy in line if Jimmy G can't go. Let me see. Alex, I'm not even going to do a score prediction because every time I do one, we get absolutely cooked. I did one this week against the Chicago Bears. We got cooked. The 2 weeks prior, we won back-to-back games. I didn't do one. So I am not doing a score prediction this week in hopes that we go out there and beat the Detroit Lions. Let me see. Yeah, Henny, we got to find a way to get him more involved in the offense. That's the thing that kills me, man. Michael Mayer goes out there for a whole series and dominates. Find a way to get him more involved. Trey Tucker has had massive gains. He hasn't touched the football that much, but when he does, he is a guy that goes out there and makes big plays. How are you not finding a way to get the ball into your playmakers' hands? It's just shocking to me. It's just very, very shocking to me. Salute to my dog, John. Shout out to Hutchinson's mom. Fine for an older lass. I don't even know what lass mean. But you got me about to go look up Hutchinson's mama, though. Let me see. Hey, Grizz, I can't even be mad, bro. Look at the way we looked against the Chicago Bears, man. But they would be fools to think that you have a bye week at any time in the NFL, period. It's not realistic. It's not realistic. We've seen terrible teams go out there and beat really good teams. I can always go back to that one year, you guys, where we beat the Chiefs. Thank you, man. I think it was Thursday Night Football, I believe, when we were 0-10. DC went out there and we beat the Alex Smith-led Chiefs. I think the Chiefs were a pretty good team that year. You know what I'm saying? And we were 0-10. Went out there and found a way to beat them. Any given Sunday. So if the Lions fans really assume, and this is Lions fans, you guys, this is a team that's never won a Super Bowl. They don't need to be cocky at all right now. They truly don't. They truly don't. There's no reason for them to do this, because in a New York minute, Detroit can go back to being the poverty franchise that they have been for many years. Many years. So they better be careful, man. They better be careful. Don't get cocky yet. Yeah, you look like a really good football team right now, but don't get too cocky. Don't get ahead of yourselves, because you guys are still the Detroit Lions. I'm trying to see something real quick. I think I'm gonna change my my default picture off. Let me see. I'm trying to find this picture real quick. Salute to everybody here in the building, man. I think I'm going to put my default picture as this right here. Boom. All right. Stop screen. Present. Share screen. Boom. I think it's time I change my default picture, you guys. Put this up all week long. At the end of the day, I'm still a Raider at heart. I still want us to go out there and win this game. Middle fingers in the air, man. This was me in 2016 out there in Detroit for Thanksgiving with my family. I think I'm going to have to change the default picture. Let me see. Timmy says, I lived in Detroit. One year, I think 2003, the Lions started 6-2. Fans got cocky. They lost, I think, 8 in a row. Snowman, what's good, Graphk? Hanging out with you on my lunch breaks. Appreciate you, brother. Let me see. Hey, Docs, you ready for... come on, man. Pause. Curry, pause. Nasty work out here in these YouTube streets. Disgusting. Yuck. It's a beautiful stadium. Josh, I appreciate you, brother. It is very hard to be optimistic with this guy as our head coach. This is Factory Outlet. Shout out to my brother Wasted in the building. But yeah, man, we talked about some things, you guys. We'll do a full breakdown tonight. Waste is in the chat. I don't know if he's going to be free tonight. We should do a show tonight breaking down this matchup. You know what I mean? I'm kind of waiting until tomorrow night so we can kind of see where the injury report is, so we can kind of gauge what we're looking at in terms of Monday night. Yeah, fuck you too, Wasted. But we'll do a total Raiders Detroit Lions breakdown here shortly. Media saying Josh McDaniels and Raider Nation are a broken relationship. I say if he wants to quit getting bashed, start smashing opponents, and quit being a scrub. I agree. But I'm gonna be honest with you, John. I don't think that only his relationship with Hunter Renfrow is broken. I think his system is broken. Let me repeat that. I don't think just his relationship with Hunter Renfrow is broken. I think his system is broken. And it's proven without Tom Brady, it doesn't work. Yeah, with Mac Jones, you got to a playoff. You got a playoff berth. Got him to the Pro Bowl. Yeah, you know, with Cam Newton, you went 8-8. It's been proven to not work without Tom Brady. Not only is your relationship with him broken, your system is broken. And at some point, you need to revisit and sit back and say, okay, I need to figure out something, because either the game is just passing me by and I'm going to be stubborn enough to stick to what all I know, or you have to say, you know what? I need to do something different. If I want to stay the course and stick around in this thing called football, I need to figure out a way to change my system for what works in today's football. It's like this, and I always use this as a point. Drake has had the longest run in hip hop for the past almost 20 years type shit. He's been around for a long time now. I ain't gonna say 20 years, but it's been a long, long time, 10 plus years, right? He finds a way to get with these young guys year in and year out. These young dudes that are coming up with this new style of rap. And he gets with them. He soaks up that, he soaks up that ism. He takes it. He buys himself another year of shelf life. He does it year in and year out. This new young kid is hot. I'm going to go attach myself to his brand, and I'm going to do a song with him, whether it's a remix or so on and so forth. And I'm going to find a way to attach myself to him so I can get some of that ism. He does it year in and year out. He finds a way to reinvent himself and stay in the world of hip hop. I think now it may be over after this last dud that he just dropped. I'm going to be real with you, but he's always found a way to stay relevant. Josh McDaniels clearly is not trying to go the Drake route and find a way to reinvent himself and stay in tune with what's going on today in football. He's sticking to what he knows, and it's clear it doesn't work. It's not working. Good stuff. It's a mixture of both. I'm not even going to say the play calling is good. I'm going to say it's a mixture of both. The play calling is shit. The execution is shit. The quarterback is shit. Yeah, I ain't gonna lie to you. There's been a lot of open receivers, though. You are right about that. I've seen Hunter open a lot. I've seen Trey Tucker open a lot. And these quarterbacks missing open touchdowns, wide open touchdowns. But it's a mixture of everything. But it all starts up top. And to be real with you, man, just keep it a buck. Josh McDaniels is the one in charge of this shit. He's the one riding the ship. He's the one that calls the plays. He's the one that's doing everything. So it all has to fall on him. Simple and plain. Oh yeah, I mean, wait, entertainment. 40 does it too. Too Short does it as well. Facts. Smart. Yep, Maul, Mayor as well. Stays open. It's insane, man. It's insane. These guys just cannot find a way to get the football in their playmakers' hands. I cannot believe this, you guys. We're sitting here right now with an offense that hasn't scored over 20 points in a season. Like, real talk. Like, take those 2 points off of that safety. We're at 19. Like, this team cannot put up 20 points offensively. That's where we are right now. Like, that's where we are. That's where we are. Those Gruden teams, they put up massive points and lose because the defense was terrible because, Paulie G was calling the defense. So the defense has been so bad for so long. Now it's like the offense cannot pick up the pieces. It's insane to me that this is where we are now, that the offense can't get it done. It's crazy. It's crazy. Jukester, that is a great analogy. The offense is like them gold chains in the middle of the mall. It's like that jewelry in the back of the Source magazine in the 90s, bro. Real talk. Shit's crazy, man. LV, this is facts. Oakland fan, $120 million on the offense, averaging 16 points a game. It's crazy. Insane. Yeah, John, we'll be back. We'll definitely be back. I took a few days for the family and stuff like that, but we'll definitely be back. I was going to do a live yesterday, but I just said, man, you know what, man, spend some time with the fam and kick it. I had a few other things I had to do yesterday, but yes, we will be back tonight. Oh, the Raider. I mean, bro, you don't even have to have tape of Josh McDaniels. And shout out to Tape Don't Lie, but you don't have to have tape watching McDaniels run the same play 3 times on third down. It's clear. You could just watch the game and see what he's doing. That's in real time. You can see that in real time. I don't have to go look at the tape to see that McDaniels is calling the same plays. You can see that shit in real time. Wet Entertainment says, I don't know how to send a super chat. What's your Cash App? I don't even know if I have a Cash App. Oh, yeah, I do. Graphk Raider, man. Boom. Graphk Raider. Wasted says he's going live at 5:45. Man, get out of here. Hey, Jay, get out of here, man. It's going live at 5:45. Richard, to be real with you, man, we got everything ready to go for the debate show. It's just at this point, what is there to debate? Like, you know what I mean? Like the thing is, we have all these ideas and all this stuff ready to go. But what is there? Bro, we're all on the same page. Get rid of Josh McDaniels. The offense sucks. You know, the defense is bend, don't break. At this point, like, what are we debating? It's just sitting there waiting on us. That show is waiting, but it's like give us something to debate. There ain't nothing to debate. I think we're all on the same, we are all on the same page right now. Everybody has the same mindset. Get rid of Josh McDaniels. The offense sucks. The run game can't get going. Yes, I think we are 702 because of Josh McDaniels' leash continuing to get shorter and shorter and shorter. That's why. I don't know if we're buyers at the trade deadline because this guy believes that we can win. I think that he's trying to save his job, which I think it's clear that in the next year or so, at the most, I think this guy is out of here. Yeah, man, I think we can debate whether the garbage can nachos at Allegiant are worth the money. And they're not, John. They are not, King. They are not. $30. Terrible. Yeah. And it's just not happening, Adele. We've been waiting for this fraud offense genius to actually do something, and it's just not happening. It's not. Yeah, and I agree with you. It's clear Josh McDaniels doesn't want to change or get exotic with his looks. He has good plays, just no disguising at all. Simple. I'm putting extras on it, you guys. It's not $30. I'm putting extras on it. They're like $20 or some shit like that. I think they're like 18, $19 or something like that. But it might as well be $30. Nothing but Harbaugh in our future. And I don't know. We shall see. I know with all those, allegations out there in Michigan with sign stealing and all that other stuff, I don't know. I don't know what it is, but he's fighting for a national championship right now. So there's no real reason to even talk about Jim Harbaugh at this point. And I think a lot of us agree that moving forward, you want a young, innovative mind that can adapt to what the NFL is today. I want our offense to look like the Miami Dolphins, the Philadelphia Eagles, those type of offenses. When you get Harbaugh, it's not going to look like that. Let me see. Salute to you, though, line on the $2 donation. Appreciate you, family. Let me see. And I'll be honest with you guys. I think that Michigan shit is getting overblown. Like who's not stealing signs? Who's not trying to get the up and up on the opposition? If you're not cheating, you're not trying, man. It is what it is. I'm just being realistic with you guys. If you're not cheating, you're not trying. Like who the hell is not on the sideline looking and saying, okay, they're doing this, they're doing that. It's a part of the game. It's part of the game. Like I'm gonna be real. Like I don't think Michigan is doing anything wrong. Now, if they got like a hidden guy on the opposing team's sideline, literally behind the guy calling the plays, then maybe we can go we could talk about something. But look, if you ain't cheating, you ain't trying, man. Appreciate you, Wet Entertainment. My dog, man. I appreciate you, King. Salute, my brother. $5 for appreciate you for keeping it lit. Salute to my dog, man. I appreciate you, brother. Let me see. My dog Q in the building. It's sad that Josh McDaniels can't figure out how to use Hunter when he had the likes of Amendola. Yeah, man. And Edelman. And what's crazy is Q, he has one of those guys helping the coaching staff. That's what's so crazy. He has one of his former guys helping the likes of Hunter Renfrow. It's insane. And Miguel, I agree with him. I agree with Hondo. Even though Hondo has been wrong a lot as of late, I'm gonna be real. I agree with him. I do believe he'll be back next year. He said I'm more creative on Madden. For real, for real. Word, man. Rest in peace to Eddie, man. Let me see. Shout out to my brother Graphk. I knew we were in trouble when McDaniel said he's not here to motivate anyone in his very first presser with us. Damn, bro, you took it back to the essence, bro. You took it back to the you took it back to the original presser. Damn, bro. Damn, bro. Salute to Graphk. Salute to John. Here's the telling story. Name one single definitive win in the last 24 games. I can't think of none. The only one I can think about, well, there's two of them that I can think about, was the Houston Texans game and the Denver Broncos game. I think those are really just like the most definitive wins that we've gotten in a while. Seattle, we had to sneak one out. You know what I mean? There's been a lot of sneaky, sneakers. You know what I mean? We had to sneak a few wins, but I assume, I'm not assume, but I think that the Houston Texans game, I watched that one out there in New York. I think that was pretty much clear cut, the most definitive win. And then the Denver Broncos game, I was on the sideline watching that game with the Meek, with the fumble recovery to run it back to the crib. That was kind of a definitive win as well. I mean, don't get me wrong. You can go back and say, oh, there was a certain amount of time and it was still pretty close. But I think those are pretty much the two biggest wins that we've had in the past two seasons. The New England Patriots had to sneak out a win. We had to get a Chandler Jones interception to the crib to win that one. Good stuff. Look, I have to disagree with you, family. I do. I have to disagree with you. Everyone needs motivation, man. Everyone needs motivation. I don't really care if you're an NFL player. Like Jay-Z can't go to the studio unless he's motivated to do an album. I don't care how old you are. You have to be motivated. I don't care if you're an NFL player or a baseball player. You have to have the – I've never seen – you know what, good stuff? Let's do this. Name a coach that has won a championship in the NFL that wasn't a guy that motivated, that wasn't a rah-rah type guy. The only guy I can name was Bill Belichick, right? And he's not really that guy that motivates. He's more of a militant guy. You know what I mean? He runs an army. And in today's world, in today's NFL, that doesn't work anymore. That doesn't work anymore. That doesn't work anymore. You got to be a rah-rah motivational guy. You know what I'm saying? Like real talk. Like, or you have to have a system that is just phenomenal, like an Andy Reid, a guy that just has the right personnel and has the system. Andy Reid is a guy that his system motivates the guys. Like in itself, you have a Patrick Mahomes, you have all these other weapons. Like that system would motivate you because it's exciting, it's fun. You know what I mean? Like look down there in Miami. You know what I'm saying? They have a head coach that's a motivational guy, but it's an innovative offense. So it's already motivating you already, but you're having fun playing it. There's different ways to motivate your players. You don't need to be a guy like Dan Campbell. He is one of the greatest examples out there in Detroit. That guy motivates the hell out of his team. He loves his players and his players love him. So they go out there week in and week out and fight for him because they love the coach. You know what I'm saying? But you can go back to back in the day, the Tom Coughlins, he's like a Bill Belichick, a guy that calls it like a military. That shit doesn't work anymore. It doesn't work anymore. That shit don't work no more, man. You either have to have an innovative system that excites the players to play it, or a guy that is a rah-rah type guy to get their guys going. And we seen that last year, or a few years back when we took that 2021 team to the playoffs. We weren't a great coach team. Rich Bisaccia was a motivational guy. He had those guys ready to go. He had those guys fighting for each other week in and week out to sneak into the playoffs to play the Cincinnati Bengals in that wild card game. Let me see. Salute to Calvin. I'm from Philly. I pleaded we signed Andy Reid and Doug Peterson. We missed out on both. Salute to Calvin. And there you go, Tim. Yeah, shit, he was the guy to do it. Graham says, handle my lightweight. Look at the other McDaniels in Miami. You see how his team, man, he's just too cool. He's too cool, man. He motivates them. He's smoking the pen on the sideline, bro. Shit, if that don't motivate you to play football for him, I don't know what the hell. Bro, he is sitting there blowing a pen on the sideline behind his clipboard. I definitely would be motivated to play for a guy like that. Shit. There you go, Solomon. He motivated us in 2016 to go on a 12-4 run and get to the playoffs. If it wasn't for Derek Carr breaking his leg, that could have been a big game for us. Let me see. Salute the cat, my dog. Maybe if we get a GM who knows how to draft and sign the right free agents like Philly, San Francisco, Miami, we would be great again. This is the problem, though, Cap, right? And I agree with you, brother. But this is the thing. How do you analyze talent when you draft these guys and don't play them? We don't even know what we have with most of these guys. Zeus don't play that much. He's starting to get a few more reps than usual. We don't even know what the hell Zeus is. You know what I'm saying? Parham is a starter, right? Mumford is finally starting to get burned, and we're starting to see results with him. You know what I mean? Matthew Butler's on the practice squad. Neil Farrell is a chief. Like, you know, this year, what do we have with Chris Smith? We don't even know. What do we have with Nesta Jade? We don't even know. What do we have with Amari Burney? We don't even know. No, a few guys this year. Byron Young has been an epic fail. An epic fail. And I originally thought that was a reach in the third round going to get him out of Alabama, the defensive tackle. It hasn't panned out. It's not panned out. But, like, how do we know? We don't even know, bro. Like, you got to coach your young guys up. I want to see what we have in these kids, especially if we lose a bunch of games here soon, you guys. I'm sorry. It's time to go throw Aidan out there, throw Nesta Jade, throw Chris Smith, throw a bunch of those young guys out there and let them get their reps, period. But I don't even know if this dude knows how to draft because we still have not been able to play these guys, play our players. Britton Brown is on the IR. He's out for the season. You know, Jacorian Bennett has been dealing with injuries. But even with him starting on the perimeter has not looked too good. You know, I just, look, man, I don't know. And Cap, I look. Realistically, we can go there. We traded for Devontae Adams, the greatest wide receiver in the world. You went and traded for Chandler Jones. I mean, no, you went and got Chandler Jones in free agency. You know how that turned out. But initially, I'm like, okay, Chandler Jones. Marcus Epps has been okay for us at the safety position. Robert Spillane has been a blessing in disguise for us at the linebacker position. Marcus Peters, terrible. It's hit or miss. Look, Jacoby Myers, great. Let me see. Salute to Two Stocked. How do you hear this many complaints about an employee and all the bad reviews about your product because of said employee and still employ this guy? It's facts. Facts, my brother. Facts. This is facts. But, you know, Mark is going to play this how he wants to play it. He's going to sit back and say, you know, this is my team. I'm going to run it how I want to run it. Daniel, I get what you're saying, brother. Salute to you on a $5 donation as well. I get what you're saying. But the thing is this, it's been a year and a half. And I'm going to be honest, bro. Last year's free agency pool and this year's free agent, like who could you really, truly went out and got that would have changed the dynamic of this team? I'm going to be real. I wasn't that big of a fan of these last two free agency periods. Real talk. I wasn't. There was a few guys that we were screaming to go get, you know what I'm saying, in the interior of the defensive line. There was a guy that we talked about a lot at the safety position that looks really good in Atlanta with Jesse Bates. But now, realistically, Merrick is getting his shit together. So If you'd have went and spent a massive amount of money on Jesse Bates in free agency, you got a guy in Trayvon Merrick that's turning the corner. Like, there hasn't really been too many players in the past 2 free agency periods that I'm like, yo, like, do they really move the needle like that? No. Great franchises build through the draft. And then they go to free agency and they get a few pieces here and there to put it all together. I repeat, great organizations draft well, and then they go hit free agency and they put the pieces together. Unless you're like the Miami Dolphins, where they just say, fuck the draft capital. They go out there and get Jalen Ramsey. They trade for, Tyreek Hill. They go get all these guys. Or the Rams a few years back when they won the Super Bowl and they just go out there, fuck draft capital. There's sometimes you find teams that go about it a different way and it works for them. But most of the time you have to draft well. You have, what I mean? Like, it is what it is. Shout out to that Raiders fan. Al Davis passed on the Hall of Fame talent. Regardless who makes the picks, we can't draft for shit, sadly. And this is dating back years, bro. You're right. That Raiders fan. Salute to my dog, too. I remember seeing you at the party, man, for the draft. It was good seeing you out there, my brother. Salute to you, man. I love the default picture with you, Chuck, and Stu, man. Great picture. Salute to my dog. That was the one player, Calvin, that I wanted. But at the end of the day, they paid him $20+ million to go out there to San Francisco. They paid him a massive amount of money, and he's on the wrong side of 30. I did want Hargrave. And to be real with you, he would have fit perfectly on this defensive line. That is one guy. But to pay him that kind of money at the tail end of his career, that is a move you make if you're the 49ers, one piece away, potentially one piece away. That's the type of move you do if you're the Philadelphia Eagles. You go out and trade for, Byard. They went and got the safety, right? There's certain things that you make. We weren't a player away this year anyway, Calvin. So why pay $20 million for a Hargrave or a Hargrove? You know what I'm saying? Like why? Let me see. I'm still reserving my judgment for this draft. Last year's draft, I'm calling that shit a dub. They only had about 5-6 picks. Parham has been a starter since he came into the league. I'm cool with that. Mumford is starting to come out, out of his shell. He may be our starting right tackle of the future. I'm cool with that. Zeus was a bad pickup. Matthew Butler, terrible pickup. Neil Farrell, terrible pickup. Britton Brown, terrible pickup. I will call that draft as it is last year a dub. The only reason I say you can call it a win, is because you got rid of your first and second to bring in Devontae Adams. That's it. But I agree with you guys on last year's draft. This year's draft, I'm not willing to give up on it yet. I'm not, because I still haven't seen what these guys can do yet. Michael Mayer is going to be a star tight end in this league. I'm telling you guys, Trey Tucker can be a star. He has all the skill set in the world to get it done. Tyree Wilson is starting to get his shit together. The wheels are starting to turn. Okay. This can still, we don't know what we have in Aidan O'Connell. I'm playing the waiting game on this year's draft because we can still come out of this with potentially 2 or 3 stars. Tyree Wilson, Trey Tucker, Michael Mayer, and maybe Aidan O'Connell. Maybe, huge maybe. I'm still reserving my judgment for this year's draft. We don't know what we have yet. Maybe Jacorian figures it out as well. Maybe he gets his shit together and becomes that guy. Salute to Reese. JMD system, the Ritz-Carlton with rats and I like that analogy, Reese. JMD system is the Ritz-Carlton with rats and roaches. Love it. That is hilarious. Mayer is a Raider for sure. Definitely. Mayer will be a star with another head coach. I guarantee it. I think he can be a star with this head coach. He's already starting to, come into his own. I agree. Feed Mayer. Let me see. Salute to the almost 600 people still in the building. Looks like Carlson's hurting. There goes our offense. Yeah, man. Carlson, we're going to have to get our shit together with him. And apparently it wasn't a big thing with that injury before the Chicago game. It wasn't that big. but he's been struggling. He's been struggling. You know, that miss in Chicago, the 2 misses against the Green Bay Packers. I know one of them was blocked, but Carlson struggled lately. But at the end of the day, you can't expect Carlson to be 100% money all the time. Even great kickers miss kicks. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not willing to give up on Carlson yet. He's definitely, you know, a diamond in the rough that we found. Definitely, you know, but got to get his shit together. But yeah, let me see. But yeah, man, coming up on 2 hours, you guys, we will be back tonight at some point talking about the injury report, some more updates on the team with Jimmy G and everybody else like that. We'll definitely be breaking some stuff down. I know Waste is going to be live here in a few hours. I know Hammer is going to be doing the presser. So we will be live once again tonight on OakLosVegas Network. So make sure you guys pull up and come shoot the shit with us. We definitely appreciate you guys as always. Yeah, man. Other than that, OakLosVegas.com. Go get your drip. PlanetRaiders.com. Go get your Raiders fix. And WoodsonWhiskey.com. Go get a bottle of that goat whiskey. I'm gonna get my ass to the gym real quick, man, and get moving. I'll see you guys a little later, man. Love y'all. I'm out. One.